Well, hello and welcome to Cluster 1 of your qualification, National Certificate in Business Administration Services, Level 3. Are you ready to journey with me as we explore the factors, processes, and types of interactions that affect the way in which we communicate? The unit standards, as shown, provide the basic foundation for the learning path in this cluster. We explore oral communication, verbal and non-verbal communication, as well as the use of communication to handle and resolve conflict in the workplace. So what is communication? Communication is the exchange and sharing of information. For communication to take place, there must be an audience and a reason, whether it is to ask how someone is doing, if they're okay, how their day was, or something more work-related, like when will I receive my report or document. We can then say that the factors of communication are the parts of something written or spoken that immediately follows a word or passage and clarifies its meaning. The communication process involves a purpose, as learnt, therefore information and or input of some kind, which is delivered by the sender. The sender means something specific. The message is coded through a channel, either orally, written, graphics, or a video. The message is then decoded and received by the recipient, which in turn gives rise to a behavior and or output. Now that you are aware of the communication process, it is necessary to know the types of audience you will encounter in the workplace. Supportive, emotive, reflexive, and directive. Each audience requires a specific type of communication rule. Managers can't expect a subordinate to behave with characteristics of a directive audience, and vice versa. Subordinates are loyal, reliable, and take instruction and direction from the manager. Colleagues, on the other hand, may be supportive, emotive, and or reflexive. Managers are determined, goal-orientated, and give direction. Communication within the organization is known as internal communication. This communication takes place through verbal and written communication like procedures, memos, emails, minutes of meetings and reports, etc. Then we also encounter communication with external audience, people that we deal with from outside the organization. Communication with external audience is done through telephone, media, news articles, newspapers, and or blogging. You may also deal with people from outside the organization with the same types of audience as within the organization. Mr. Mabasa, for instance, is very reflective, which means he's serious, precise, and knows what he wants, when he wants it, which means Mr. Mabata has to be careful to ensure that he handles matters precisely. For communication to happen, it must be switched on. There must be a specific purpose, a reason, and an audience, someone to listen or hear the message. Whatever the reason, this could be to record, regulate, maybe even inform or influence. It takes the form of sending and receiving of some kind of information between two or more people. With the process of communication and the type of audience we encounter during communication, there is a specific channel that is followed. It may be formal, informal, internal, external, oral or written, or verbal, non-verbal. In each case, you are in control of determining the time and duration of the communication taking place. Now guys, this doesn't mean you can just leave the conversation. You can, however, politely excuse yourself when necessary. Some communication may be a combination of formal written, or oral informal, or formal oral, or informal written, although informal written is less common in business. In each case, the audience will determine whether it is internal or external. Well, that's a wrap for Cluster 1, Topic 1. Let's take a look at the main ideas. Communication is the exchange and sharing of information. The process of communication involves a sender and receiver. We communicate for various reasons. Communication channels can be formal, informal, oral, written, verbal, non-verbal, internal, external, or a combination of each. Internal communication takes place between employees and external communication takes place with individuals from outside the organization. Are you ready for topic 2?